My girlfriend said, "Ugh, you're so insecure. I can have guy friends," after going to a concert with her ex without telling me. I said, "Absolutely, you can." What she discovered when she opened Instagram the next morning made her rethink everything. I, 28 male, am sitting here at 3 a.m., can't sleep, might as well write this out. Been with Jenna, 26, for about 18 months. Moved in together 4 months ago. Thought things were solid. Guess not. Last Friday, she told me she was having a girls' night with her coworkers. Cool, no problem. I had plans to game with my buddies anyway. She left around 7 p.m., looking way more dressed up than usual for drinks with work friends, but whatever. I'm not the type to police outfits. Around 11 p.m., I'm deep into a raid when my friend Kyle goes, "Yo, isn't that your girl?" and drops a link in Discord. Click it. There's Jenna, front row at some indie band concert, posted on the venue's Instagram story. And right next to her, Dustin, her ex, the one she dated for 3 years, the one she swore was completely out of her life. My stomach dropped. But what really got me, in the video, she's got her hand on his shoulder, both of them singing along, looking real cozy. The venue tagged them both. So much for girls' night. I screenshot everything. Didn't text her. Just sat there, numb. She rolled in around 2 a.m., slightly buzzed, chattering about what a fun night she had with the girls. I just said, "Sounds good," and went to bed. Saturday morning, she's making breakfast. I'm having coffee. Casual as possible, I go, "Me, how was the concert?" She freezes, just for a second. Then, "What concert?" "Me, the one you went to with Dustin." "Were you stalking my social media? That's really weird." The venue posted it, Kyle saw it and thought I should know. That's when she went full offense mode. "Oh my God, you're being so insecure. I ran into him there. We didn't plan it." "And so what if we did? I can have guy friends. We dated years ago. It means nothing now. You're seriously going to freak out because I watched some music with someone? This is toxic behavior, Tyler." "You told me you were with your coworkers." "I was. He just happened to be there too. I didn't think I needed to report every person I see when I'm out. Do you want me to text you every time I pass a man on the street? Should I wear a body cam?" The sarcasm was thick. She kept going, basically making me feel like I was some controlling psycho for being upset that she lied her plans and spent the evening with her ex. The more she talked, the more I realized this wasn't about the concert. It was about the lying and the gaslighting, and making me the bad guy for having completely reasonable boundaries. I didn't argue. Just said, "Me, you're right. You absolutely can have guy friends, my bad." She looked surprised but pleased. Kissed me on the cheek, said she was glad I was working on my insecurity issues. The condescension was unreal. But here's the thing. I wasn't done. I was just getting started. See, Jenna's whole life is her Instagram. She's not an influencer exactly, but she's got like 3K followers and posts these aesthetic photos constantly. Very curated. Very, look at my perfect life. She'd been working on this whole independent woman living her best life brand lately. Remember how the venue tagged both of them? Well, Dustin had reposted the story and added, "Best night with this one," with a bunch of heart emojis, still up on his profile. His girlfriend of 8 months, Becca, had already commented, "Excuse me," by the time I saw it Saturday morning. So Saturday night, while Jenna was in the shower, I did something petty. Maybe too petty. But I was done being gaslit. I made my own Instagram story, 3 slides. Slide 1, screenshot of her text to me Friday saying, "Girls' night, don't wait up." Slide 2, the venue's story showing her and Dustin, his arm around her waist, detail I hadn't mentioned before. Slide 3, simple text, "When girls' night has a plot twist. Good thing I'm working on my insecurity issues." Tagged her, tagged him, tagged the venue, posted it. Then I packed a bag and went to stay with my brother across town. Turned off my phone. Sometimes the best response to gaslighting is just sunlight. Update 1. Holy hell. Didn't expect this to blow up in my friend circle like it did, but here we are. Turned my phone back on Sunday afternoon to absolute chaos. First, the numbers. 184 missed calls from Jenna. 73 texts ranging from "Where are you?" to "Take that down now" to "You're embarrassing me" to "This is so immature" to "Please just talk to me" to "I'm gonna kill you." Real healthy progression there. But the Instagram situation? That's where it got interesting. See, what I didn't know when I posted that story was, 1. Becca, Dustin's girlfriend, was already suspicious and had been going through his phone that morning after seeing the venue's post. 2. She found texts between him and Jenna from earlier in the week planning the concert, including one where Jenna said, "Tyler thinks I'm doing girls' night, lol." 4. And Dustin replied, "What he doesn't know won't hurt him." Becca screenshotted everything and went nuclear. Posted it all on her story, tagged everyone involved, including me. Added her own commentary about homewreckers who can't let go and men who ain't worth shot. So by the time I turned my phone on, it wasn't just my story making rounds, it was a whole expose. Jenna's carefully curated image shattered. Her comments were full of people calling her out. Some of her own friends were posting stuff like, "This explains why you canceled on book club, and so this is why you've been weird lately." But wait, it gets better, or worse, depending on your perspective. Jenna showed up at my brother's apartment Sunday evening. Nathan let her in against my wishes, but whatever. She was crying, but not apologizing. No, she was mad. At me. "Jenna, how could you do this to me? My mom saw those posts. My coworkers are all texting me about it. You've ruined my reputation." I ruined your reputation? By posting what actually happened? It wasn't what it looked like. We were just catching up. Becca is psycho. Those texts don't mean anything. The texts where you literally laughed about lying to me? It was a joke. God, you're so sensitive, and now everyone thinks I'm some kind of cheater. Are you? Kissing isn't cheating. Nathan actually laughed out loud at that. Like, full belly laugh. She glared at him. Me, so you kissed him. Jenna, just once. And I was drunk. It didn't mean anything. That's why I didn't tell you, because I knew you'd overreact like this. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level. In her mind, she was still the victim here. I had violated her privacy, embarrassed her publicly, ruined her image. The fact that she lied, went on a date with her ex, and kissed him? Minor details, apparently. I told her to leave. She refused. Said we needed to work through this like adults. That I needed to delete everything and post an apology saying I misunderstood the situation. The audacity. Nathan ended up having to physically escort her out while she yelled about how I was throwing away something special over nothing and how I'd regret this when I calmed down. But here's the twist. Monday morning, I wake up to texts from a number I don't recognize. It's Becca, Dustin's now ex-girlfriend. She's sending me more screenshots. Turns out, this wasn't the first time. She went back through months of messages. Jenna and Dustin had met up at least 4 other times while we were together. Always when she was supposedly doing something else. Always deleted from her Instagram stories. One particularly damning exchange. "Dustin? Feel bad about Tyler, though." "Why? He's sweet but boring. You're my excitement." Cold lol. "What? I'm not leaving him. He pays half the rent and does all the cooking. Best of both worlds. Thought you should see what kind of person you're dealing with. Sorry you got played too. Dustin's stuff is on the curb if you want to do the same." I sat there staring at that boring comment for a good 20 minutes. Is that really how she saw me? As a meal ticket and personal chef who she could deceive for excitement? The apartment situation is complicated since we're both on the lease. But you know what? I'm done being the nice guy. Time to get practical. Update 2. The entitlement escalated exactly as you'd expect. Let me break down this week's greatest hits. Tuesday, Jenna came home. Yes, she still had her key, to find I'd moved all her stuff into the second bedroom. Set up a mini fridge in there. Got a hot plate, even put her Keurig in there. Essentially made it her own studio within the apartment. If we're roommates until the lease ends, we're gonna be roommates. She lost it. "You can't just move my things. We share the master bedroom." Me? Shared. Past tense. You wanted independence and excitement, right? Well, here's your own space. Very independent. This is so childish. We're adults. We can work through this. We're working through it right now. Your rent portion is $650, due on the 1st. Utilities split down the middle. I'll email you the breakdown. She tried to move her stuff back. I put a key lock on the master bedroom door. My name's on the lease as primary tenant. She was added later. So I have certain rights. She threatened to call the cops. I showed her the screenshots where she admitted to cheating. She retreated to her room and slammed the door so hard a picture fell off the wall. Wednesday, The smear campaign began. Suddenly, her Instagram was full of vague posts about toxic relationships, and when someone you trust betrays you, and healing from emotional abuse. The comments were mixed. Some of her friends buying it, others calling her out since they'd seen the original stories. But then she made a crucial mistake. She posted a photo of herself crying with the caption, "When someone tries to control and manipulate you by spreading lies, gaslighting is real, emotional abuse, survivor not victim." Becca had entered the chat. Becca commented with every single screenshot, the concert planning, the previous meetups, the boring comment, all of it. Then she added, "Speaking of gaslighting, this you?" The post was deleted within an hour, but the damage was done. Screenshots were already circulating. Her follower count started dropping. The carefully maintained image was crumbling. Thursday, Jenna's mom, Linda, showed up. This woman, imagine every entitled parent story you've ever read rolled into one person. Pearls, pursed lips, the whole 9 yards. "What you're doing to my daughter is disgusting. She made one mistake." Me. 5. At least 5 that we know of. "Relationships require forgiveness. You're destroying her life over some harmless flirting." Nathan, who was there for moral support. "Harmless flirting includes tongue?" Linda turned red. Looked at Jenna, who suddenly found the floor very interesting. "Regardless, this living situation is unacceptable. You need to move out and let her have the apartment." "No. I'll have my lawyer contact you." "Cool. I'll have mine contact yours." She didn't actually have a lawyer. It was all bluff. But the entitlement to think I should move out of my own apartment because her daughter cheated? Wild. Friday. Here's where it gets interesting. Remember how I mentioned Jenna worked in social media marketing? Well, turns out having your personal social media blow up with cheating drama isn't great for someone whose job is managing other people's online presence. Her company didn't fire her, but her boss had a conversation with her about maintaining professional standards even in personal life. She was removed from 2 client accounts who specifically requested someone else after recent events came to light. She blamed me, naturally, sent a long text about how I was ruining her career and affecting her livelihood, and how she hoped I was happy destroying her life over one mistake. I responded with just the screenshot of her saying I was boring, and she kept me around for rent and cooking, then blocked her number. We're living in the same apartment. She can knock on my door if there's an actual emergency. Saturday. The extinction burst. Wait, no, let me use different words. The dramatic escalation? The full meltdown? There we go. I woke up to find she'd posted on Facebook, where she's friends with my family, a long post about how she was trapped in an abusive living situation and needed help finding a new place. How her ex, me, was financially controlling her and had isolated her in her own home. My mom called me within an hour. "Mom, Tyler, what's going on? Jenna's post is concerning." "Mom? Remember when I sent you those screenshots?" "Mom. The ones where she admitted to cheating multiple times?" "Yeah, now she's mad I won't move out of my own apartment." "I'll handle this." My 55-year-old mother went full mama bear. Posted a comment. "Jenna, sweetheart, perhaps you should have thought about living situations before having affairs. Also, Tyler showed me the texts where you called him boring and used him for rent. Delete this post before more people see what kind of person you really are." Nuclear. The post vanished within minutes. The grand finale of this week's entitlement tour. Dustin showed up. Yeah, the ex she cheated with. Apparently Becca kicking him out and their entire friend group turning on him meant he needed somewhere to stay. And guess who promised him he could crash with us? I was making breakfast when there's a knock. Open the door to find Dustin with a duffel bag. "Hey man, Jenna said I could stay for a few days?" Me. "Absolutely not." "Come on, bro. Water under the bridge, right? We're all adults here." The adults who planned to deceive me and laughed about it? Those adults? Jenna appeared behind me. "I'm allowed to have guests. It's my apartment too." "Check the lease. Overnight guests require approval from all tenants. I don't approve." "This is messed up, dude. Where am I supposed to go?" Nathan, who had come over for breakfast. "Maybe don't hook up with taken women next time. Just a thought." Dustin tried to push past me. Bad move. I'm not a violent person, but I'm also not a doormat. blocked the doorway, and told him he had 10 seconds to leave before I called the police for trespassing. He looked at Jenna, who was filming on her phone, probably hoping I'd do something she could use against me. When I started counting down, he left, cursing the whole way. Jenna stomped back to her room yelling about how I was controlling who she could see and acting like a dictator. The irony of complaining about not being able to bring the guy she cheated with into the apartment I pay half for was completely lost on her. So that's where we are now. 2 more months on this lease. She's already trying to find someone to take over her portion, but turns out having your cheating scandal go viral in your social circle makes it hard to find roommates. Who would have thought? The best part? She still thinks she's the victim in all this. Every interaction is about what I did to her, never about what she did to cause this. The entitlement is breathtaking. But I'm good. Hanging with Nathan most evenings, meal prepping for one again. Turns out I'm less boring when I'm not cooking for someone who secretly disdains me. And honestly, the peace of knowing exactly where I stand is worth all this drama. The lease ends in 60 days. I'm counting every one. Final update. Lease ended last week. Figured I'd give you all the closure on how this train wreck finally concluded. Those last 2 months were something. Jenna cycled through every manipulation tactic in the book. Love bombing one day, finding little notes under my door about remembering the good times, ice cold the next. She brought different guys home just to try to make me jealous. Joke's on her, I invested in some excellent noise-canceling headphones. She tried to throw a party once. I shut that down real quick by reminding her about the lease terms regarding gatherings. The real drama came 3 weeks before move-out. Jenna had found a new place, but needed a co-signer since her credit was shot. Turns out she'd been missing credit card payments while spending money on her dates with Dustin. Linda, her mom, refused to co-sign unless I agreed to be reasonable about the security deposit. Here's what she wanted. I'd tell the landlord any apartment damage was mine, she'd get her full half of the deposit back, and we'd call it even. The entitlement never stopped. I documented everything. Every ding in her room's walls from her tantrums, the makeup stains on the carpet from when she threw her foundation bottle at the wall, the broken closet door from when she kicked it. Sent it all to the landlord with timestamps. Linda threatened legal action again. This time I had a lawyer friend draft a response outlining the documentation I had of Jenna's behavior, including the harassment and attempted fraud regarding the deposit. Never heard from Linda again. Move-out day was anticlimactic. Jenna hired movers at 6 a.m., probably hoping to avoid me. I was already up, coffee in hand, making sure they didn't accidentally take anything of mine. She didn't say a word, just supervised while occasionally glaring at me. The Instagram thing had lasting consequences for her. Lost about half her followers, and her whole lifestyle blogger side hustle pretty much died. Last I heard, through mutual friends, she was still at her job but no longer on any major accounts. Dustin? They lasted about 2 weeks after she moved out before he cheated on her with someone else. Shocked Pikachu face. Me? I'm good. Better than good, actually. Got my own place, a nice 1-bedroom closer to work. Started dating again. Being upfront about boundaries and expecting basic respect. Turns out that's not insecure or controlling. It's just healthy. Looking back, the Instagram story was petty. But you know what? Sometimes when someone gaslights you and makes you feel crazy for having completely reasonable expectations, a little public accountability is exactly what's needed. She wanted to live her life publicly on social media, showing only the pretty parts. Well, actions have consequences, and sometimes those consequences are public too. The funniest part? About a month after moving out, she unblocked me just to send one last message. I hope you're happy. You got what you wanted. I didn't respond. But yeah, Jenna, I did get what I wanted. A life without liars and gaslighters. Highly recommend it. Thanks for following along on this wild ride. Remember, folks, trust your gut, document everything, and never let anyone make you feel crazy for expecting basic honesty in a relationship. Peace out.